Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Energy Mastery TV. This is my last few hours here in New York, and I'm at the beautiful Riverside Park for Magic Monday. And what we're talking about today is Ready or Not. Oh my gosh, we went to the most amazing restaurant last night. I actually don't know where it was, but it was really, and they had this great neon sign in pink letters that just said Ready or Not right on the wall. And I thought, man, that is so cool. Because what it made me think about is how often, we wind up waiting, and biding our time, waiting until we feel ready. And it just takes forever, right? And you might never feel fully ready to step into something. But when I think about ready or not and what that really means, man, like those are the people who stepped in when the world told them that they were crazy, or when they felt like this is never going to work and I don't know what I'm doing and I just feel like I'm going to make a fool of myself and everything's going to go wrong and I don't know what's going to happen. Those are the people who stepped in, ready or not. And those are the people who so often made such an amazing impact in the world. You think about Edison, for whatever you may think of his business practices, but how many times he failed at creating a light bulb? Like thousands of times, and I'm sure that, how frustrating that must have been. You think about people who have a really big mission and just really step into it, like Elon Musk, everybody tells him he's crazy, and there's still people in the old school of the automotive industry saying, get your Tesla now because it's going to be a collector's item before you know it, because the model is never going to work. And do you think he feels ready? Do you think they felt ready to launch a Tesla into space? Like never. Like you may never feel ready, but what's really happening here, and the biggest lesson and the biggest takeaway for me is that you already know. You already know, what it is that you're wanting to do, or that direction that you're wanting to take, that choice that you've been sitting on, and that's the soul calling, or you call it whatever you want. I just call it, the soul calling, and because it's a soul knowing, and you already know what that is, and it's that willingness to take action on it. And so then what happens then is you get that yes, and it's scary because usually, your soul has a vantage point that your personality doesn't, and that will often seem really scary. And then the personality is like, whoa, that is terrifying. Or all those same old stories. I'm going to look like a fool. It won't work out. I'll waste my money. I'll waste my time. It'll fail. I don't know what's going to happen. What if it does work out and I'm really successful with it? And all these stories, and the personality will find any number of ways to derail. And I saw it happen. We just graduated 15 people from our Energy Mastery Foundations here in New York, and that was an amazing experience, like so many amazing people. And it made me think about, like, wow, they made it here. And every time I see a person who makes it into our 2-day classes, or any of our classes for that matter, but particularly the 2 days, I'm just absolutely amazed at the fortitude and the willingness to really follow through with that first decision, that first yes. We had a lady there who had enrolled a year ago and then was working through all the different layers of figuring out, how she was going to follow through with that. And suddenly everything came together and she was able to attend this training here in New York. But I can guarantee, this is one thing I can guarantee for sure, she would have never made it here if she didn't follow that first yes, ready or not. And that's where the magic happens. It's following that first yes, and then following the next yes, and following it all the way through. And I tell you, it is a rare human who's able to actually do that and to do it successfully. Think about that, a whole year of not sure if she's going to make it, to the training, where is it going to wind up. I know that there's some wind here. My hand is freezing. My San Diego hands are not used to this cold. And I tell you, well, that's a great point. Ashley's sharing here, I wish there was one in Washington. Well, we had people come from all over the country to be here. And whether it was from New Jersey, right? So just, maybe taking a train down or something like that. Pennsylvania, we had people from all over the West Coast. And if you're waiting for something to come right to your lap, like that's awesome. Sooner or later we'll get there. But you could be waiting a really long time. So it's really going to be your willingness to step in and ready or not and just figure it out. We had a lady come all the way from Australia it was a couple months ago. Yeah, it was a couple months ago. All the way from Australia. And that was really just amazing to see her come. And you can bet that there was just never a convenient time to do that, because she's got a business of her own. She's got young kids. It's never going to make any sense, you know. And that's the funny thing about following those callings, is it just doesn't make sense at first, oftentimes. But, you know, she found a way to make that happen, because she just knew that was the only place that she could get it, right? So... and there's always the next step. Okay, so maybe your next step isn't a 2-day, no problem. There's always a next step, but you got to stay in that conversation and take whatever that next step is. You know, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's the home study course, like whatever that is. You got to find your next step and really step into that and just figure it out. Because ready or not, if you know this is where you need to be and you refuse to take action, you will pay the price for that. Guaranteed. It's going to be painful. It's going to take a long time, and it's going to take 10 times as long as it needs to, because the problem with that is that you don't take action and allow the solution to show up, so you get stuck. And when you get stuck in that place, it's just a holding pattern. You probably never feel ready. Probably never really feel 100% ready. There's a famous flute player who Kisma had a conversation with, and said, you know, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of performances, and this flute player said, you know, I can count on the number on one hand the number of times I felt like I really felt good and ready to step on that stage. Yet he's doing that every day in and day out, you know, just stepping in and stepping in and stepping in. That is how greatness is achieved, and that's what Energy Mastery is about. Is really about achieving your greatness. It's about giving you the tools and the processes and the technologies to unlock all of that amazing potential within your soul, within your DNA, so that you can go do what you're here to do with more ease and grace, and you can impact more lives. And I guarantee that you're probably not going to feel super ready for that, especially when you start to step in. And I've seen it happen with all of our teachers as well. Every time a teacher steps in, I really want to teach this, I really want to teach this. That's awesome. I experience the same thing. And then all along the way of filling up that first class and getting the people there and talking to people about it and getting them excited and enrolling them and everything like that, it becomes a whole other conversation. And there's a million different reasons to quit along the way. And if you let those reasons own you, you will quit left and right, and your life will be a roller coaster. That's it. That's really it. So you want magic? You want more magic in your life? Ready or not, everybody. Ready or not, you got to step into that and be willing to step into that flow. And the last thing that I'll share with you that I just really noticed about this city is if you fight against the city, this city will eat you alive. If you're that one person who's trying to get on the subway when everybody else is getting off, you will get mowed down. If you're that person like totally walking against the flow of traffic, they'll mow you down. But there's a beauty to the flip side of that, which is that there's an amazing intuitive flow, and when you step into that, you have such an ability to just be in the flow with the energy, and in a city like this, you know, you're in, like, and you can get where you want to go 10 times faster than anybody else. And if you're trying to fight it, it's the same way in your life. Exact same way. You know, you can fight you against the world and go on and on like that and exhaust yourself and go on that roller coaster, or you can step into the flow, and that highest calling, that's going to tell you where you need to be. So you already know it. Ready or not. That's your Magic Monday, everybody, from the beautiful Riverside Park here in New York. I'll be back in San Diego area for Peak of the Week on Wednesday. But thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being a part of Energy Mastery, and we'll catch you soon. Peace.